This is a house in Toronto. It has 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. It was listed for sale last summer for just shy of $1 million. If that seems like a lot, you should know that it sold for $800,000 more than that. That's just one property in a housing market that's becoming more out of reach for many Canadians with each passing day.
I've probably seen between 15 to 20 condos, approximately.
After renting for 7 years, Ryan is nearing a purchase of a condo in Toronto.
There's a lot of blind bidding, as an example, that takes place. You know there are other bidders, but there's no transparency in terms of what the other bidders are actually offering. There's a drive to bring up prices as much as possible. So you kind of have to blindly put in an offer without knowing what your competition is.
Housing affordability was a big issue during the recent federal election campaign.
The supply of homes, to own as well as to rent, is not keeping up with our growing population.
Over the past 6 years, things have just gotten so much worse. People cannot find a home that's in their budget.
It's not okay that the communities you grew up in aren't in places you can build a life, raise a family, or grow old.
I think there's still a ways to go to actually make it affordable. And I say that as someone who considers himself privileged. I have a master's education. I feel like I have a relatively solid job. So I have a lot of, advantages, and it's still very competitive.
A combination of low interest rates, limited housing supply, and ongoing foreign investment have all played a part in driving up prices. Canada has the highest house price to income ratio out of any G7 country. The amount of disposable income the average Canadian has available is no match for what the housing market demands. This year has seen housing affordability in Canada take its steepest dive since the mid-1990s. Let's say you're starting from scratch. You make the median income and want to put away some money every month to save up for a down payment. In Toronto, putting away 10% monthly, it would take you more than 26 years. In Vancouver, it'll take you even longer, 34 years to save up for a down payment. Simply put, buying a house in these major Canadian cities requires more capital and more wealth than simple monthly savings. The average price of a Canadian house has jumped 13% since this time last year, but median incomes haven't nearly kept up.
You're just doing whatever you can to get into the housing market, but it's not really making sound. It's not conducive to making sound, informed decisions. It's kind of very impulsive, and I don't think that's really healthy on a long-term basis.